You can stand here and then,
Okay.
or here, wherever. Okay, that's fine.
So this is our reflection on our volunteering for this week. What's the date today? The 30th of October.
Wow.
I know. Sorry. Terrifying. So this is probably, I don't know, maybe our fourth or fifth time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done it a couple of times. And what happened this morning, or rather on Monday morning, was we met Irvinal, and then he had to leave because he had to drive someone to the hospital. Which I think it's amazing that he provides that service, but
He
that's
personally provides that service.
Like that's an option for them. Like when someone's very sick, he can drive them to the and he'll stay there with them.
Yeah.
I think that's very rare. Anyway, so he had to drive to the hospital, so it was just me, Jane, and Dave handing out the
coffee, which was actually a really great experience to do it without Al, because I think more people were interested in talking to us.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time, well, I mean, Al's there all the time, right? So he gets a lot of the talk. But it was nice because it was like nice to feel like, you know, it was us that was also helping, not just Al.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's also nice to kind of, I don't know, just like that community feeling where you get out and they're like, hey, how's it going? Like they know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And like that for me is such a definition of community, is being recognized on a
personal
level. But like, yeah, because
you recognize
anytime in my life where I've felt myself feeling more comfortable in a situation or with certain people is when they start to recognize you as someone who is equal to, you know, like you're equals. Because sometimes I feel like with the people that we interact with on Monday morning, we're on different levels. Like I feel like when you start out, that those levels are very clearly defined, and then the more you get to know them, the less the levels exist. Which I think is true. It's true with anyone, I guess. When you get to know them, you discover your similarities. Because people, I think, are more alike than they'd like to admit sometimes.
Absolutely, that's it though that you're saying is like the barriers that society creates. Like we create this separation, these differences, which pull us farther and farther apart, right? Like socioeconomic status.
And that emphasis on individuality. Like we're all individuals. We're all, which is good, but it also just further perpetuates the
problem.
The divide between people. When I think in a lot of cases, the way the world needs to move forward is for people to recognize their similarities.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And embrace them. And engage in them, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's how people... so we drove around and handed out the coffee and the donuts, and...
I actually had a really, I don't know, an experience. I'll just call it an experience. And a girl came up to me. David was there too, and she came up to us and just kind of started to cry and said, "It's my first time. I'm in Victoria. I'm homeless. I don't have any family. I have no friends, and I'm homeless, and I don't know what to do. And my boyfriend just tried to strangle me." And I mean that. I don't know if anybody knows how to answer that or how to. I still don't know if I did a good job of answering that, or no.
I don't think there's any way of doing a good job in that situation. Like, you know, like for the person experiencing that much pain, I don't know if anything you can do.
Like I wanted to just be like, hey, you know what? Come with me and
I'll buy you some coffee and we'll talk. Ew.
Yeah, I wanted to bring her home with us.
Yeah. It's like that little girl. Okay. Okay. It's still recording. It's like that little girl that we saw that was like dancing.
Yeah, like you just want to bring them home with you and be like, it's gonna be okay. There's something I can do. But
it's also like you want to bring them home, yeah, but that
what's that?
it's a temporary solution, you know?
Yeah.
A temporary solution to a problem that is perpetuated by temporary solutions.
Yeah.
But that's also not to say that wanting to bring someone like that home and help them is in any way bad or negative or reflect poorly on you in any way, shape, or form. That's more than most people even. I mean, most people wouldn't even engage. They'd be like, I don't want to deal with this. Yeah. It's like outside. I'm in my bubble.
Kevin. Yeah, I know.
And anything that pops the bubble or disrupts the bubble is
it's too much.
It's too much.
And you know what? I was talking to somebody. I won't say names, but I was talking to somebody, and they said, I feel that if I came outside my bubble, I would feel too much. And then I would feel bad, and I would feel ashamed, and all of these horrible things that they don't want to feel. And I just think it's not about that. It's not about feeling bad for living in a society where, yeah, you do work and you do that stuff, but it's acknowledging that you aren't as fortunate as others and that you do have privileges that these other people don't have. Mm-hmm. And then it's to acknowledge the fact, it's to acknowledge that and then to help in some way, to do something. Like me, I send at Christmas all of the money to the students so that they can go to school, you know, and that's.
And handing out coffee we do. I mean, that's like, I would never, I mean, I consider myself a nice person. I describe myself as empathetic in class. And I mean, I've done other things, but it really is that comfort bubble and being comfortable. And this is, I think, I watched this interview on the weekend with Russell Brand and someone else about the revolution that needs to happen in the world soon for us to continue, for the planet to survive. And I think it's that comfort in comfort that everyone has. I mean, I have it 100%. You have it. Everyone who lives their comfortable lives has that security and their comfort. And where it's going is that you're gonna have to give up some of that comfort. Mm-hmm. I mean, we cannot keep sustaining a world in which the level of comfort that we have can be maintained in any way, shape, or form. So I think
comfort. Like think about the like.
Well, like having a house and having like a warm space to be, and comfort in like knowing that you're here and that like the door will stay locked and that we can go to the grocery store and buy food and no one's gonna get mad at us or tell us we smell or tell us to get out or any type of thing.
We can just go to the grocery store and buy food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where was I going with this? Oh, so where I'm going with this is that these little steps outside of our bubbles, like they're not huge, but they're little steps, are very important in terms of not getting ready for. That's not really how I want to say it, but just like I guess like acknowledging that it can't be like that forever. And if you want to help, if you want to feel good. Okay, no, not if you feel guilty about what you have, not the only, but an excellent way of dealing with that guilt instead of just feeling it is to do something about it. Mm-hmm. But before the guilt comes the acknowledgement that you are someone of privilege, and then for a lot of people I think the guilt comes, and that's why they don't want to step out of their bubble because they don't want to feel that guilt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that's exactly what the person was saying to me. Like I feel guilt, like they feel guilty because of their privileges and because sometimes, like I said in one of the first classes, like you don't know these dandelion things exist. Mm-hmm. You know, we're so trapped in our bubble that we don't feel like there is anything that we can do. And so becoming aware of it and becoming aware of things that help can help.
Like taking that first step.
Yeah. Even if it's becoming aware of these things that you can do, and then doing them, are what's gonna make you feel less guilty. At the same time, it's helping someone.
Yeah.
Or a community.
Yeah.
So.
And then you get into how helping other people builds community. I mean, I feel like not necessarily more connected, but I feel like when I'm in downtown Victoria, it's not. I just understand. It's not that I'm like we're best buds or anything, but I'm not. It doesn't make me feel as uncomfortable being there because I'm familiar with the people who are there, who sometimes make other people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, like even